What is up? What is up, everybody? This is Mark the Mike, and this is another Wrestling Babble podcast by Wrestling. I'm Mark the Mike. I'm joined by my tag partner, Louis Beans.
What is up? What is up?
And again, a lot of wrestling to cover. I've been watching more wrestling because I hate myself. So I've been watching a lot of the biographies on A&E. I've been watching Dark Side of the Ring, which was a really good episode, Earthquake, if you don't get a chance to watch it. And then I've been watching the WrestleManias. And I already watched up to 5, and it's not an easy watch, but it gets better. I swear. Ah.
Okay, okay.
Right now, I think I'm at WrestleMania 5, which I actually learned something new. It was like I was telling you, I text you. I was like, "Yo, Owen Hart had a singles match before Brett did on WrestleMania."
And I didn't know that the Blue Blazer was like around back then.
Me either. So I was like, and I saw the Blue Rays. I was like, no, that's Owen. And then I looked it up, and it was actually Owen Hart. And it was like, yo, he had a match at WrestleMania with Kurt Hennig. So I was like, this is gonna be a good match, and that was actually a really good match. It was actually, I think, a very underrated match on this card because it was actually really fun.
It was, you said five the start of it
WrestleMania
getting
5,
good,
yeah.
or four
What?
of it getting good?
Um,
Was it five or four?
so I will say 3 started it because you had the match with Steamboat and Macho, which was amazing. You had a good 6-man tag with Coco Beware and the Bulldogs versus I forgot who they fought. I can't think of they fought the Wild Samoans and shit, and that was actually a really pretty solid match. Roman's father was there. And then you had Hogan Andre for the aesthetics of it. If you actually go by match rate, the match is not great because again Andre could barely move his back. But how they worked the crowd into each move, how they worked the crowd into the big finish, how Hogan could not get him down for the first like 20 minutes of the match, and then he finally gets the momentum to get him down. That's something wrestling don't do nowadays. They don't work the body part to get someone down. I always say that when it comes to technicians and shit like that. So as the crowd participation with that match, it makes it great. If it was just a nowadays match, kind of how it was built then, people don't have the patience for it anymore. But how they built it and the crowd going with it, and I think the crowd was more connected with all the matches than they are just nowadays. They just have their favorites and shit. Like
Gotcha.
everyone got the boos, everyone got the cheers. Like everyone was getting a pop like they're a superstar.
Okay,
There was no like silent crowd. You're gonna get booed or you're gonna get cheered, and that was one of the two.
gotcha. Okay.
So that's one thing I'll say about the back of the days. Like the crowds were more participating. But then again, we also didn't have internet. They didn't have the backstage news or the gossip and shit. You legit think that the person that was a heel was a scumbag.
True. True.
And shit like that. So, but the pageantry of Andre and Hulk, I get it. I'm not the biggest Hulk fan,
Were
but
they
yeah,
were they throwing? Was that the era where they could still throw garbage in the crowd?
yeah,
Throw garbage at the bad guys and
yeah,
stuff?
yeah,
Really?
yeah.
Okay. Okay.
And then you also notice, and one of the big things you'll notice also is the ring. The
Okay.
ring's
What's that?
ropes were very loose and they were in
Oh,
tight.
oh, oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
So like when you start seeing the tighter the ropes, that means there's going to be more offensive top rope offense and things like that because it gives them the spring. But the ropes are loose and so loose that the you know the when they trapped them in the ropes with the arms and shit, that was like
Mm-hmm.
more of a thing back then than it is now. Like I remember people getting torn.
True.
Fucking Jake the Snake got fucking bit the Cobra with Macho Man like with their arms in the ropes because they made it so like fucking devastating and shit. And you don't see that shit nowadays.
That was wasn't that one of Andre's signature moves?
Yeah,
Was the arms getting trapped?
yeah, yeah. Because he was so big, like he like him just leaning on it will get the ropes to go over.
Yeah.
But
So
yeah, but it's actually pretty good. It has its moments and things like that. I'm at 4 was just long. I felt 4 was extremely long just because they did the whole tournament play inside the pay per view. It was the rise of Macho Man, which was great. All his matches were fun and great, but when it came to the other matches, they weren't that great.
okay, okay.
But you also had some decent tag matches. You had a decent IC championship match. So But you know who was not that great, and every time I seen him wrestle during this time, I can understand why he didn't get a push the way everyone wanted him to. Brutus the Barber Beefcake. He was not good.
I didn't think he was popular. I just thought he was
He was
there because he
popular
was
by the crowd,
Hogan's family.
but it was before like he was like really associating himself with Hogan before he
I don't
during this time.
know how early was that? Because I that he's one of the main guys I remember standing next to Hogan often as an ally.
I would say he started standing with Hogan more in the later '90s. No, not in
Okay,
the later '90s, in the mid in the '90s, the early '90s, than he was in the
okay,
'80s.
okay,
In the
okay.
'80s, it was like Hacksaw Jim Duggan when Big Boss Man became babyface. Like those are the guys that were Hogan's crew and shit.
Okay,
And
all
I
right.
think it was Survivor Series when he first teamed up with Brutus that they started that connection too.
So that makes more sense
Like
because that's
89, 90, yeah.
probably when I could recall watching
Because
that
when
era of wrestling.
if you recall watching, it was probably during the WrestleMania 9 when they tag team and they were tag team champs.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's where,
Well, I remember he
yeah.
had the show. That's so that has to be later,
Oh yeah, so
like
Thunder
you
in
said.
Paradise was
No,
WCW.
not that show, not
Oh,
that
okay.
show, not that show. When the barbershop, he had his remember he had his own skit
Oh yeah,
on
yeah, yeah,
wrestling.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, that's 92, 90, that's 91, 92. That's when Shawn Michaels went
So that's
heel.
mm-hmm,
Yeah, yeah.
mm-hmm.
So all right, let's get into our wrestling retrospect. So I will just give an update on what WrestleMania I'm at. I'll give a rundown of it. So far, I'm at number 5, and it was okay so far. But again, Bruce Blazer versus Kurt Hennig surprised the shit out of me. It was actually a really fun match because Brett is also on this card. He's in a tag match against Rhythm and Blues.
And who's
That's
do you remember
Greg the
who the?
Hammer Valentine and Honky Tonk Man.
Wow. Okay. All right.
So he's also in the card, but he had a singles match before Brett did.
Did Greg the Hammer Valentine was he supposed to be the front man, the singer? Like what?
He
Did
was
he
just
play a?
there. Well,
Did he play an instrument?
so in this match in general, he's still just underwear wearing Greg the Hammer
No, but I just
Valentine.
mean in the tag team in general. Did they have any like backstage anything before the match? Like they just
It's
came out.
morely Honky Tonk Man talking. Greg the Hammer Valentine is just there with the Elvis suit.
Uh, oh, he has a suit on.
Yeah,
Oh my
yeah, yeah.
goodness. Jeez.
So he has the gimmick on at least.
All right. Okay.
All right.
All right.
So, retro wrestling retrospect. We have Sherry Martel, aka Sensational Sherry.
Yes, sir.
So your pick. So you
And
go
the
first.
first one I picked, I went as far back as I could. But then I saw that she actually did wrestling matches in the 90s. So I went back and forth. So the first one I picked is an older one. It says AWA world title match.
Nice,
And this is Sherry Martel versus Candy Divine.
nice.
Um, and this one is again is interesting to see this. That also that this stuff isn't. I guess because it's AWA, this is before that time that it would be. I get it. It doesn't say the date though, so I can't tell you that. But it's just like there's this footage of these women wrestling so early
Yeah,
and having actual wrestling matches. And this is not like to say like probably the best one because actually there's another one later
yeah.
that's actually very good. This one is like slow and methodical. I my question is she always a villain?
Yeah, for the most part, yeah.
Okay, okay, yeah, because she's always screaming at the crowd and stuff, and it very over dramatic with the way she gets hit and whatnot.
Yeah,
But this one, and of course they're not gonna have the most flashiest finishing moves.
yeah.
This one was kind of a series of oopsies.
Okay.
It was basically Sherry dived, the girl moved out the way. Candy dived, Sherry moved out the way, and then Sherry pinned her and held the tights, and that's how she won.
There you go.
That's it. That's it.
Nice.
So there you go.
Um. Okay, so my first one is actually on WWE TV. It was part of Prime Time in Paris. This was Rockin' Robin versus Sherry Martel. This was October 7th, 1988. This was for the WWF Women's Championship, which was held by Rockin' Robin. Um, this was actually more clean than I thought it would be. A lot of neck locks, a lot of ankle locks, and things like that. Um, Sherry almost won it with the Russian leg sweep, but Rockin' Robin caught her with a schoolboy reversal and was able to take the pin. So Rockin' Robin was actually was a women's championship. I think she had the title. So it was Renee Wickner, and then it was her. And then I think they showcased it in the first WrestleMania that there was a women's championship, and then they never had a match after that, at a WrestleMania. They were showcased, but they never had a match after that until Medusa, Alundra Blaze was champion. It's crazy. But they had a whole women's division. But again, like I feel like WWE, WWF, or WWE doesn't really showcase the historic run, the history of it as much as you think it. I think they start at Alundra Blaze and that's it. They don't go further than that. But sadly, that's the way it is. But that's my first match.
The second match I picked um, was okay. This one is actually in 1999. So this is it says 11/13/99. This one is Sherry Martel versus Leilani Kai in NWA Worldwide.
Yes.
Um, so again, this is like the in the WCW, right? Close to the end. But I didn't. Okay, so here's my thing. At this time, what was she? What was she doing? Like, was she just out of wrestling? Period.
She was
Like
in
before, like
WCW.
she was. So she was, but like '99, she wasn't with Harlem Heat anymore,
No,
right?
she wasn't in wrestling at all. She was with Harlem Heat like to '97, I think. I don't think
Yeah,
she
yeah.
was
So I'm
in
saying
wrestling at
early
all during that time.
mid '90s. That's when we remember her.
Yeah,
So like that's a good 3 to 4, almost 4 years. I guess not seeing her, but
yeah,
apparently maybe if you could track these down, maybe she has a bunch of matches in the NWA. Um, the only thing I know is that she has a few rivals, and Lalani Kai is one of them. Because I believe like this is not the only one of their matches that I see. Like,
okay,
and there's in other promotions as well that they fought each other. And this one is actually more solid than the first one. I think it's because the style is different.
okay,
This is probably this is closer to what we think of women's wrestling is now,
yeah,
because it's not really like hair pulling and eye gouging and clawing and really just bad moves all around. It's
yeah,
more solid holds because I see Leilani Kai has a technical side to her,
yeah,
so it's that type of wrestling. So it's very interesting to see it. Um, and of course Sherry is not the good guy in this match, so there is that.
yeah,
There's not really too much shenanigans, and then the end of the match is pretty much just a simple ass like counter to like another. It's interesting. It's like another jump
yeah,
from the turnbuckle. So the girls is about to splash Sherry or maybe clothesline her. She
yeah.
counters with the double knees and then does the like this. So she grabs her legs and rolls her over basically, and
Nice,
then she pins her that way. So very very simple finish, but like the match is way more solid than I thought it would be. So
nice.
check that out.
All right, my second match is actually one of her title wins in WWF. I thought she didn't win it, so I found out she did. The Fabulous Moolah versus Sensational Sherry. This was 8/28, 1987. She won by banging Moolah's head to the post and then rolling her up.
Jesus.
She wins the WWF Women's Championship at that time. But yeah, so she did all the small tactics. I think she worked very Ric Flair kind of style when she was a heel. And then again, Fabulous Moolah had her in the corner, and she banged her head on the post in order to take the title. Fun match for the most part, though. If you had never seen the Fabulous Moolah actually wrestle as well against her, but even though back like I think she was probably a lot younger, she still looked like she was like in her 50s or 60s. So I'm just saying, like the
She was
age,
probably in her 40s at that point.
yeah,
That's like right before Attitude Era.
she still
So
looked like a grandma.
maybe 50.
Yeah, she still looked
You
like a
know,
grandma.
because when you think about it, how old was Mae Young?
Mae Young
Mae
was
Young
older.
like almost. But I'm just saying, like,
Yeah,
remember, if she's older than her, maybe what, like 10 years? I think it is.
yeah,
So Mae Young was like in her 70s when we last saw her getting beat up.
yeah,
That's crazy.
yeah. That's
So
crazy.
yes, they was both up there.
Oh,
Um, so the last match I picked, I guess it comes off the end of the match you just brought up
yeah,
because it is Sherry as the WWF Women's Champion
yeah,
against Rockin' Robin. So I think this is another one. Rockin' Robin is another one of her rivals because I say that because that's probably the person I saw the most matches pop up for when I was looking for Sherry Martel matches. Just a lot of Rockin' Robin versus Sherry.
yeah,
But this is one of the few I saw in WWF. Uh, the funny thing is, for a person who is such a villain, Sherry does not dress like a villain.
yeah.
She's got like the most colorful pattern 80s pattern spandex on, white boots, like a fluorescent pink top. I'm like, she's supposed to be bad? But yeah, you can see like she is still evil, still another thing I think that stood out in her matches is that she's always screaming.
Yes.
Like
I
she
think
has a distinct scream.
that's her
She may
gimmick.
yell. Um, this one probably not like the best in terms of again fantastical moves they pull off,
Yeah,
but I think Cherry does a really good job of being an over the top character. I think this is the right time period,
yeah.
so she really stands out like a lot. And then you have commentary. You have Gorilla Monsoon and Bobby the Brain,
Nice.
so that just adds to it. And she does lose the match, but it is non-title. It is to a flying concussion.
Yeah.
It's what I call the move because the girl Rockin' Robin jumped off the second turnbuckle and literally slammed her head first into the it's head first into the mat. Just flying concussion. There was no technique to that.
She's
That's
just
all it
aiming for
was.
heads. She she tried to knock people off.
That's all that was. Flying concussion. So
Nice.
she won.
So this one is a little different. This one is. Damn it! I just had it. Where the fuck it go? Give me 1 second. This is Devil Mashimi versus Sherry Martel. This don't have anything. It's all in Japanese, so I'm sorry. This was definitely probably like early '80s, probably yeah, early '80s because I'm looking at her '86 and she looks completely different than here than there. This was in Japan, so she worked with the Joshi people, and this was a really fucked up match because they took like half this match in the crowd. There was chair shots, there were table hits and everything like that. Sherry wins it with a double arm suplex
Oh
and
wow.
takes it a win. Um, but it was a very like hard hitting match. Like again, like it was like straight hardcore for this time period.
Hmm.
But yeah,
Hmm.
she wins with a double. I thought she was gonna go to a power driver, but it ended up just being a suplex. But it's a fun match. Very mean.
Hmm. Hmm.
But so she did the double hook, and then she did a brainbuster, and that's how she won the match. There you go. Again, aiming for that fucking head. That's something that we learn. She likes to knock you out. But it was nice seeing her actually get her trained in wrestling and stuff like that because again, the history again, like they don't really talk about it as much as if she's a manager. They don't go really big into her history as a wrestler. But
Do it.
that's my last one. All right.
Do it.
That's our wrestling retrospect. We will have a new person at the end of the show. We kick off with. I actually saw some of her newer matches too, and she actually moved pretty good in her later matches. Um. Anyway, but yeah, she's sensational. Sure. We kick off Monday Night Raw. This was March 4th, 2024. We did pass the new Monday Night Raw, but we won't talk about it until next week. We kick off with uh, this was with Seth Rollins kicked it off, right? Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes kicked it off, and he
He
started
was
that
talking.
Diarrhea Dwayne. I thought it
He was
was
talking,
yeah,
doing a lot of talking,
there were a lot of talking,
and
but
they
they
they're trying to say, I was gonna tell you, I feel that wrestling fans think that they are watching high art, and that's something as stupid
yeah
and juvenile as diarrhea Dwayne has no place. Let me tell you. Fast forward to Friday. I hope everyone who was complaining about it shat themselves.
yeah
That's all I gotta say. Because
yeah
they had an arena saying that
yeah. So it worked.
wrestling is dumb, y'all. Stop it.
Um, and then Dirty Dom is shown warming up elsewhere. Intercontinental Champions showing going to the ring. Non-title match. Yeah, Dominic Mysterio with JD McDuggan versus the Ring General Kunta.
Gunther. That was a good ass match.
Man,
Stop sleeping on Dom. Although, just let's be honest, he was really taking a beating.
so I will say, and just kudos to Dom showing that he was aggressive early in the match. He went for those chops against Gunther, but he fucked around and found out.
Yes, sir. He got the armor. He got the armor broken.
I think Dom forgot that he wrestled him before as a
Was he good
babyface.
guy? Oh, he was good. Yeah, okay.
He
Okay.
got he got the mauled, so he just got flashbacks afterwards. Gunther wins. Really good match. Um, we have Dakota Kai walking in with damage control, saying that they could go anywhere they want because they're the tag team champions. We also got Pearson, assuming Nakamura wants to talk about the IC title. So this is building for the six pack challenge, the six pack gauntlet match that we got this week. We had the tag team champions, a tag team match. We had Shayna Baszler, Zoe Stark versus Kaden Carter and Katana Chance. Um, Stark and Baszler win,
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
and Kubiki Warriors do their little thing.
Well, they wasn't gonna beat him up,
Yeah,
so
you see Dominic in the training room. He tried his best. You got the man Becky Lynch versus Nia Jax. I thought this was actually a really good match. It ends with Liv Morgan getting involved and getting the DQ for Nia Jax, and then she gets kind of goes in Becky's face, say that he like see you like that. This also leads into Monday Night Raw, getting a match between Liv Morgan and Becky Lynch. Adam Pearce is just having interviews with a bunch of people for the IC Gauntlet match. Again, that got built for this week as well. You got Andrade versus Apollo Cruz. Oh, he's still alive.
but
Andrade
yeah,
win. Solid
I was
match.
surprised to see him. I had to give Michael Cole a little bit of poo poo because he did not mention that Cruz was former IC champion.
Yeah.
Just saying.
He's just a US champ.
Hmm.
Discredit him.
I think his best run was when he was IC champ.
Yeah. I mean, he was from Wakanda.
Yeah, I mean, he sure as hell stood out.
Yeah.
So
And him and Big E has some good matches too.
hmm
Jackie Redmond had an interview with Sami Zayn that also built into the Gauntlet match we got this week. Um, then we go to the next match, is non-title undisputed tag team match. You got Senora Money in the Bank and Finn Balor versus Imperium. Um, Judgment Day win, but it also kind of goes into showing that Priest has a little target on Gunther as well. So they kind of showing face into that.
Mm-hmm.
We go Sami Zayn versus Ivar. Solid match. Sami Zayn gets the win.
Oh wait, and didn't Michael Cole get his headdress last in
Yes,
that match?
he got to wear the antlers. He was so
Yes.
happy. And then the main event was Jay Uso versus Drew McIntyre. I thought this was a fantastic main event. Could have easily been on a pay per view, but the
Mm-hmm.
interference of Jim and Solo kind of derails Jay to winning the match. Drew McIntyre wins, but also Seth Rollins comes for the clean and gets Claymore in the face.
Yeah.
You forgetting you dropping the ball and
Wasted.
forgetting about Drew. Drew gonna put a foot
Wasted.
to your face.
Poor guy.
But then overall, where you give it?
I give it a A. No, you know, I give it an A minus. I think it was just missing a little something to be like on par with everything that's been going on, but it wasn't bad at all. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree. I go with A as well. I thought it was a full show of entertainment and a lot of other storylines being built. Um, WWE NXT Roadblock 2024. We got Asylum Dijak, the Asylum match, Dijak versus Joe Gacy. This was insane.
Yeah, that was crazy. That was really good.
Um, I if I see a big man like that backflipping towards me, I'm moving.
Good. Yeah.
He's too big to be
He,
catching that.
that was like a plane coming down out the sky. Man,
Like
I could imagine the shadow.
and Gacy just took it to the face.
Yep.
Good
And
match.
then laughed at it.
Yeah, good match. Dijak wins. I like the fact that
I
he's
can't,
getting built.
you see, the thing is, I can't picture being a grown man and having duct tape on my face because it's just too much hair.
That hurts. I know he
That,
probably hurt so much fucking taking that off. But you know what? The sweat probably like loosens it up at
yeah,
least. At least.
yeah,
At
yeah.
least. But that's duct tape.
Yeah.
You fix everything with duct tape. It's fucked
Yep.
up. We got tag team championships. We got the Wolf Dogs, full outfit and all. So I wanted them to whoop their ass. Versus Chase U. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
the Wolf Dog
Mm-hmm.
wins. Beat Chase U, but also had Ixiom and this other guy fucking go into it. Can't think of his name right now. Where's his name? Where's his name? Where's his name? It's like something Blake. I can't think of his name. The Ixiom's tag partner.
Come on, Nathan
Yeah,
Frazier.
Nathan Frazier. There you go. I completely blinked on his name. Um, they also got involved with the match and stuff like that, but the Wolf Dogs actually win the match. I'm all for the Wolf Dog gimmick. They had masks
They've
and
been
all.
doing good. They've been having very solid matches, and again, the chemistry that they developed as characters is pretty good.
Yeah. Sean Spears versus Aurora Connors. Funny thing is, shout outs to him. He's actually a student of Sean Spears from Flatbacks. But it was
Mm.
pretty much a jobber match. He pretty much him actually using the TKO. I'm actually quite. I think that's quite awesome that he's actually using that as a finisher.
Mm-hmm.
I dug his presentation. I like the fact I actually dug the chairman thing in AEW, and I wish they just went with it more, but they didn't. So I'm actually digging that he's his own character. He's building his own character for it.
Yes, sir.
Uh, Women's Tag Team Championship match: Kabuki Warriors versus Valkyria and Taylor Paxley. And then
That was solid.
solid.
I liked it, but I liked, and I think I like this more is the the because they're so involved in the story that it translated over into that match well. And I'm talking about Valkyria and Paxley.
Yeah.
So that was actually pretty fun. So I'm not mad.
And then we had Roxanne Perez going heel in white, which is different because everyone just wears black and Massacre, so it works. But what she did was kind of fucked up with the arm, so I dug it. Good job.
But the thing is she bad? Because everybody's cheering her. I don't know. I
It's
kind
like
of feel
Becky
bad
Lynch
for
when she went
Lyra.
heel. Like she did things to get booed, but everyone was like, "Yeah, finally."
Yeah, exactly. Because I think it's more they just happy she's showing some type of edge.
Yeah, I
Like, all
agree.
right.
But yeah, it was cool. Blair Davenport versus Valen Henley. I thought that was a solid match. Henley
I
wins,
agree.
and the main event was Charlie Dempsey to defend his Heritage Cup. That kind of went into work. William Regal came out, and that's good.
Yes, sir.
And then we
Glad to
got
see him back.
yep. And then we got the number one contender, Carmelo Hayes versus Tony D'Angelo. Um, D'Angelo wins, and the return of Trick Williams at the end. The crowd went fucking nuts.
Yeah, that was good. I
So,
like how the Don double tricked Mello.
yep,
I peeped at the upgrade to the Don theme. I
yeah,
saw that. I saw it.
nice. What do you give NXT? Roadblock.
I'm gonna give it a A. I thought that was a great show.
Yeah, I go A as well. I thought it was solid,
hmm
and Dijak flipping from that high should not be allowed for
Let
safety
that man
reasons.
fly.
Safety
Let that
reasons.
let that albatross fly.
AEW Dynamite. We kick off with Swerve Strickland, Samoa Joe versus the Kingdom.
Solid match, but it just I didn't I Joe should have just walked away.
Yeah,
What that had to do with him?
yeah, and
He don't care about them.
I'm not crazy about the Kingdom shit. So it's been like just hurry up and finish. Yeah, Hook versus Brian Cage. Guess who wins?
Yeah, no. I mean, it's not. I'll give credit where the credit was due. The match was solid, and they went out there and they basically threw caution to the wind. I
Yeah,
thought it was good. It was good. There was one thing that had me dying laughing because of the camera work. When Brian Cage dove through the gate,
yeah.
you didn't see Hook, so it just
Looked like he ran into the cage.
it looked like he ran to the wall for no reason. And that shit had me dying laughing. But other than that, the match was still good. It's just, damn it, you knew who was going to win.
You knew who was gonna win.
You knew who was
New outfit and all. You knew who was gonna get his ass
you
kicked.
knew who was going to win.
Kill Switch versus Daddy Magic. This was pretty much most likely a. This pretty much was a squash match. Kill Switch wins.
It was more story match than
Yeah,
anything. I'm on board with Daddy Magic, so I see where they're going with it.
yeah.
Will he get his comeuppance, or will he end up like the Dark Order? I don't know.
Riho versus Chris Statlander. Solid match.
That was solid. That was solid. See, and again, I think anybody who doubts Riho just needs to see her work with somebody of equal or greater skill.
Yeah,
All I have to say is because she really like steps it up when she's wrestling somebody good like Statlander
yeah,
or Sheeta or something. Like, so that
yeah.
was a good match.
We'll also we did have the whole segment with Eddie Kingston coming out, and then Young Bucks come and jump him, and then Okada makes the save, but he also closed Rainmakers Eddie Kingston, and is a new elite, and they
Elite
fired
Okada.
Omega,
They fire Omega from the Elite. That's it.
and
Stay
now
home, Kenny. Now
Okada
he's
is
a
part of the
streamer.
elite.
I don't know if you noticed that. Like they fired him. The next day he started streaming. I was like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, he's like
He was just
fine.
waiting. He's like, finally I get some time off. Uh, I think is interesting. Let's see where they go with it because that's not what I pictured. So
All right. And then the main event was Bill Ospreay versus Kyle Fletcher.
That was good.
It was a
That
really
was
good
very good.
match, but why are you gonna have him fight your teammates?
But that's just the Don Callis way. His explanation is nobody is up to their level. They
Yeah.
can only fight each other. That's what he said.
But they teased Brian Danielson versus Ospreay later on. But very good match. What do you give AEW?
I give it a solid B. I thought it was definitely a better show than last week. Although I still think there were things that just did not make sense
Yeah,
pertaining to certain characters. Why would Joe have a match with Swerve? I don't get it.
yeah, I agree with that.
What do you got nothing to prove?
I will say I'll go B minus again, slightly with the lack of story, some of the lack of story and stuff like that. But the matches were solid, and they gave the women time. Rhea Hill and Chris Statlander got more time, but I wish again evolve more storylines within the 2 hour show. That's
Hmm.
all I ask. All right, we go to Friday Night SmackDown, and we got the slap that curve round the world with Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins on a promo with The Rock and Roman Reigns. Oh, that's later on, right? I'm ahead of
Hmm.
myself. So we go to Logan Paul. Returns to SmackDown. Pretty much says Prime is gonna be sponsoring shit, and then there was a U.S. Championship match. No, there was a tag match. Randy Orton. No, it was no, there was a match. Oh yeah, it lined up
Yeah,
going into a
Randall.
tag match. Yeah, yeah. But
Hmm.
he lined up RKO and KS one on the Prime logo, and then it went to a tag match of Randy Orton, Kevin Owens versus Grayson Waller and Austin Theory. A solid match as well too.
I love how Brady was like he drunk the prom. He was like, "Damn, this is good."
Yeah, but
Yeah.
he fucking around with the wrong person. He gonna
Yes,
get
sir.
punt. He gonna bring it back just for him.
My only thing is I don't like them teasing Grayson Waller and Theory having problems.
Yeah,
I would like them to actually win the tag titles at some point.
yeah. There you go. But then again, Jason Wild be leaving his ass. He'd be like, "Yo, peace out."
I'm just saying.
It's like the third time they fucked him over like that. Like, God damn it. Bobby Lashley versus Karrion Cross. Solid
It
match.
was it was a solid big man match. That was a meat
It's
match.
building the story. It's gonna be a big 6 man tag at WrestleMania. So
Hmm.
I'm liking what they're doing with Bailey. They actually giving her more time to tell her story and things like that. Um, you kind of have Bianca kind of showing no sympathy towards her and stuff like that. But I have a feeling they're gonna let them like kind of take each other's back and shit. I
No
don't know what
simp,
they're doing with Naomi and Bianca for WrestleMania, but we'll see what happens.
no simpy. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Michin versus Tiffany Stratton. Uh, Short match, solid. Stratton wins.
It was a nice little rematch.
Yeah. We got AJ Styles cutting a promo on LA Night, so it looks like they're gonna build to a match at WrestleMania as well.
And then LA Knight destroying the television.
Yep.
But him destroying the TV was still so entertaining. The way he said, "All right, put everybody to sleep. Let's wake everybody." I just, dude, you gotta give him credit. He at least knows how to maximize the seconds he has on television.
Yep.
Can't be mad at that.
Dragon Lee versus Angel Garza. The return of Dragon Lee to
Uh,
SmackDown. Good
And
match. Also
this
story
was
with her.
because we had a lot of story earlier in the show where they basically bullied him backstage
Yes.
for liking Rey Mysterio. That's exactly what they did.
Yeah. You like that short motherfucker? All right, let's fight.
And so, but he won.
Yeah.
He still won, and then they beat his ass.
Yeah. The answer. That's what they called it. Cody Rhodes, Seth Rollins will square off Roman Reigns and Rock. They kind of have a back and forth promo segment. People actually caught on to the diarrhea. Dwayne. Um, the back and forth was interesting. Some of the things that they said, if you actually look at the things that the Rock said too, he's like, "Hey, don't you have the same thing?" Um, just saying, you got a 20-something-year-old daughter and two little ones as well.
This is
Um, but it went back and forth. It's what it was, and then he got slapped really hard, which is our podcast picture. Is the full hand to the face. What is
I love it. Again, the faith in this story that they could have a 20 something minute segment for it, and it never got boring
yeah
because this stuff it's just good. It's just good. I The reason it is going so well for me is just because the chemistry between everybody here, including The Rock.
yeah?
Because you know how it could have been like,
It could be
it
one
could have been
sided.
kind of awkward,
Yeah
man. But it could have been kind of awkward. You know, he could have been rusty. He could have just never fell back into the groove, and it could have just been like, man, this I want this to end.
yeah
But now I'm like, I
um
hope
yeah
that he keeps showing up.
yeah.
WrestleMania, dude. Like I know he can't be there every Friday, but how many more Fridays we got until
Well,
WrestleMania?
I think for now and then, I think Rock should actually hit every show. Like that's no
You think so?
excuse. I think he at
You
least
think so?
I he's gonna show up to the New York show definitely.
3-1, 3-1. Okay, that's not a lot. One
I
more.
I'll
One,
say
two, three, four.
at least three if on Raw and SmackDown. So I say he'll
Well, he's
be
not
at
gonna
the
be on Raw.
huh?
He's not gonna show up on
I
Raw.
think he's
That's
gonna
not
show
his
up to New
show.
York Raw.
Which one is
There's
that?
a Raw
Like how
right before
close to
WrestleMania in New York.
So that's what, April 1st, I
Yeah,
guess?
yeah.
Okay,
I say
okay.
he shows up to that one. And then I think he'll show up the night before SmackDown. So that's two.
Okay, okay.
I'll say three of the shows he'll probably show up within the time period, or at least have backstage segments. But I think Roman Reigns is gonna be showing up every week. So Rock has the slapping Cody Rhodes in the face shirt. I need the Cody Rhodes slapping Rock in the face shirt.
Yeah,
Get that working. We need both. We need one or the other, so you can choose who you want.
exactly. Yep.
But
Still
yeah,
waiting for the Cody Crybaby shirt. Where's it at?
I think that actually came out.
Did it?
Let's see. I'm actually looking at the shop right now.
Okay,
I got
okay.
oh they have the Drew McIntyre shirt back in stock. I may have
Oh,
to
they
get that.
do.
Yeah.
Ooh, okay.
Oh shit, they got the Latino Heat Scarface shirt. I'm actually might have to get that. Oh
That's
yeah. Oh
the
no, that's a
original
Liv
Eddie
Morgan
Guerrero.
shirt. My fault. Hmm.
Is that one you talking about, like the original Latino Heat?
Yeah, with
Okay.
the black and white, and it has like the Scarface like the
Yeah, yeah,
Scarface movie
yeah.
cover. Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. No. Yeah, they have a Cody Rhodes one.
Of a slap?
No, they just have him responding to the slap.
Oh,
He needs a slapping one. It's bullshit. They're dropping the ball. WWE shop, you dropping the ball. Disappointed. Anyway, SmackDown, where you give it?
oh, I'm gonna give it an A+.
Yeah, that's same. I keep it the same. Storylines are being built. Even if they're small segments, they got stories being built. And seeing the rise of Tiffany, I think again, I call it between her and Chelsea Green, Money in the Bank. I do not see anyone else besides those two with Money in the Bank.
Yeah, yeah.
I say Tiffany slightly more because you're gonna sell a shit ton of pink fucking briefcases. That's the
Mm-hmm.
only reason why I say it. Because the whole Barbie shit. Other than that, I could see Chelsea Green actually winning too. And shout outs to Chelsea Green and her Ghostbuster gear for main event. I actually gotta watch main event because I see she's been wrestling on main event, so I gotta show some love and
Okay.
watch it.
Gotcha.
Collision I did watch. I could run it down if you didn't see it.
No, I did not.
So you got Brian Danielson versus Shane Taylor. I thought that match was solid. They also led into Osprey and Brian Danielson. He came out after the match. You got the elite squash, right? The elite squash match. They just beat up three guys, and then you had Mariah May versus Trish Adora. I thought that was actually again they gave some time to the women's match. It was pretty solid. And ended with May winning, and then Deanna Peraza jumped Tony Storm in the back. Nick Wayne squash match. I don't care about Nick Wayne. I'm sorry. Chris Jericho versus Titan. It was pretty. It was alright. A pretty solid match for Jericho. You had Mystico versus Angelico. Pretty solid. Angelico's a very underrated wrestler. I just think he had a big sprint of injuries that kind of stopped him from getting momentum. But he used to fucking kill it in Lucha Underground. He's another guy that came from Lucha Underground. He used to kill it.
Gotcha.
You got
Got
Briscoe, Lethal, and Jarrett. He's working with Jarrett and Lethal now versus the House of Black in the Atlanta street fight. So I guess anywhere they go, they just have a street fight. House of Black wins, and that's the ending of the show. I'll go to a B minus. Lack of story, but they had some decent, solid matches, so I'll go B minus. All right. Podcast we listen to. Before the podcast, I'll shout out and E TV. They have the WWE biographies and the show Rivals. They're very good to watch and very fun watches. So definitely check them out. They have done Randy Orton, Scott Hall, and they done Sergeant Slaughter so far on the biographies and the Rivals. They did Triple H and Rock. They did Cena. They this week is Cena, Randy Orton. They did Taker and Shawn Michaels last week, and they did Jake the Snake and Macho Man the week before. So check those out. And also, Dark Side of the Ring started again too, and Earthquake was the first episode. This week is Buff Bagwell. Um, Chris Van Vliet had a full interview with John Cena. That was about an hour and a half. Definitely take a listen, check it out. It was actually a really good interview. And Maxine Dupree was on last week as well. That was a good one. Let the girl work. Stop being haters.
it.
Did I listen to anything else? Nah, that was just a John Cena interview, and then yeah, the Maxine Dupree. You listen to anything?
uh, no, just the usual major pod, not Sam,
Yeah, shout out to Major Power. Yeah.
and I forgot one day the one of the Buster opens. That was
Oh,
about it. The one with Mark Henry on the weekend. I think it was Mark Henry and Denise.
oh okay.
So that's like the Saturday show or something like that.
Okay.
Hmm.
All right. And we go to the wrestling retrospect, and I think I'm gonna go with him. Have we trained? I'm trying to see if we actually picked him. I've been happening to see a lot of his matches recently. All right, we haven't picked him. I thought we did. Too Cold Scorpio.
Okay.
I thought we picked him.
And
He's
we
not
did.
on the list. Too Cold Scorpio would be my pick this week. Shout outs to Xavier Woods. He was kind of highlighting his career on WWE Short on YouTube. So I kind of got was like, damn, he actually did some really cool shit, and he's still wrestling to this day. So
Hmm.
shout outs to Tuco Scorpio for a long career and still wrestling to the day. I saw him the last time I went to a Philly show. He was there. Um, but yeah, Tuco Scorpio would be my pick this week. And wrap this up. This is the Wrestling Babble podcast. Thank you for listening. Mark the Mike. Follow me on Instagram, Tumblr, Twitter, YouTube, SoundCloud, and Twitch. All Mark the Mike. Also follow Red Cycle Link.
Make sure you follow us anywhere and everywhere. Red Cyclone Inc. That is Twitter, Tumblr, and Instagram. That is YouTube, SoundCloud, and Spotify. And we got a WordPress, so check it out.
Yep. And check out all our other casts. We have a Gamer Rage podcast that just got released yesterday. We have another Trekkie. We got the Morphin Cast, and we got the Shell Shock. Check them all out. Give them like, subscribe. There's a little something for everybody on those casts, so definitely check it out. Peace out, laters, and always remember, follow the Jinkies.
He's hungry.